Have you ever wondered if it's possible to achieve financial independence while earning a minimum wage? A world where you are no longer living paycheck to paycheck, worrying about bills or stressing about retirement? A dream? Maybe not. Let's jump into the journey of turning the impossible into possible. What if we told you that the pathway to financial freedom isn't about making more money, but about making your money work for you? Let's explore this concept with a focus on compounding and the power of income-producing assets. So let's dive in. But there's one factor we haven't touched upon yet, and it's perhaps the most important one: time. The earlier you start, the better. Why is that? Because compounding isn't just about how much or where you invest, it's also about how long you invest and by how much you actually put. Starting early allows your money more time to grow and multiply, and even small amounts can turn into a mountain over time. Still skeptical? Keep listening, because we're about to demonstrate the astonishing power of compounding. Let's start with a universal truth. Everyone needs a budget. It's like a roadmap for your money. Consider this. You're making the U.S. federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour and working 40 hours a week. That's roughly $1,160 before taxes, and let's say you take home about $980. How do you manage this? We'll break down the budget, but before that, let's tackle a key concept: compounding. Albert Einstein once called it the eighth wonder of the world. So what's this magic about? Brace yourself, because we're about to unveil some seriously mind-boggling math. Compounding is the process where the value of an investment increases because the earnings on an investment, both capital gains and interest, earn interest as time passes. This snowball effect can result in exponential growth of your money. So, how can someone on a minimum wage harness this power? The plot thickens as we dive into the budget. Imagine this. You start with just a quarter, 25 cents. If you were able to double this amount every day, you'd have 50 cents on the second day, $1 on the third day, and so forth. Seems like small change, right? But here's where it gets interesting. By the end of just 20 days, you would have amassed over $500,000. That's more than a house in many places. This is the power of compounding, the principle that allows your gains to generate their own gains. It's like a financial snowball effect, growing your wealth exponentially. Now that we have a grasp of this concept, let's see how it works in action as we dive into budgeting. With your take-home pay of $980, it's vital to strategize how to use it. Allocate 30% towards housing, 15% for food, 10% for utilities, 10% for transportation, and lastly, 5% for health. That should cover the essentials. But where's the room for financial freedom in this budget? Hold tight. We're about to crack the code. We've covered $686 for all the necessities, leaving us with $294 to play. Here's where we make some strategic moves. We allocate 20% or $196 to savings. But the thing is, these are not just ordinary savings. These are savings with a particular mission. Want to know the mission? It's a thrilling one. The mission of these savings is to grow, to multiply, to work for you. How? By investing, specifically in income-producing assets. It might sound intimidating, but it's not as complicated as it seems. Let's see how it works. Income-producing assets, as the name suggests, are investments that generate income over time. These can include stocks, bonds, real estate, or even peer-to-peer lending. But how does someone on a minimum wage invest? We're about to get real with numbers. Let's assume you invest your savings, the $196 per month, in a low-cost index fund. The stock market has returned an average of about 7% annually after inflation over the long term. What does that mean for your investment? The numbers might shock you. By consistently investing $196 a month with an average returns of 7% after 30 years, you could end up with around $227,000. Yes, you heard that right. Over $250,000. And it is all from a minimum wage. Sounds incredible, doesn't it? But it doesn't stop there. Remember those income-producing assets we mentioned? Here's where they shine. Let's say, for example, you decided to put part of your savings into dividend-paying stocks. These are stocks that pay out a portion of their earnings to shareholders. What if your investments could provide a steady stream of income? Let's see how the numbers stack up. Suppose you invested $100 of your monthly savings in such stocks, with an average dividend yield of 3%. In the first year, you'd earn about $36 in dividends. Not a big deal, right? But what happens when you reinvest those dividends and let compounding work its magic over time? The answer will blow your mind. Reinvested dividends buy more shares, which in turn earn more dividends, creating a virtuous cycle. So, after 30 years of reinvesting, your $36,000 would have grown to a whopping $97,000. All that just from dividends. Next, we're going to talk about another form of income-producing asset, real estate. Now, you might think, how on earth can someone on a minimum wage invest in real estate? Believe it or not, it's more achievable than you think. Real estate investment trusts, or REITs, allow you to invest in real estate without having to buy physical property. And the best part, they are known to distribute at least 90% of their income to shareholders in the form of dividend. Intrigued about how REITs can boost your financial independence journey? Well, here's how. Assume you allocated another $100 of your monthly savings to a REIT with a 4% annual yield. In the first year, you'd earn $48 in dividends. Again, nothing to write home about. But with the power of compounding and reinvesting dividends over 30 years, your $36,000 investment would turn into over $120,000. Isn't that astounding? So, between index funds, dividend stocks, and REITs, you're not just saving money, but creating a robust portfolio that's working for you around the clock. The best part, all this is achievable on a minimum wage. But remember, you still have that leftover cash from the budget. Let's talk about how that fits into the equation. We still have $98 left from our budget. This is your freedom fund. Use it to learn a new skill, start a side hustle, or even put it into a high-yield savings account for short-term goals. The goal here is to create additional streams of income that can boost your investments, supercharging your journey to financial independence. Wondering how a side hustle can accelerate your journey? It's all about having multiple income streams. Let's say your side hustle brings in an extra $200 a month. That's another $2,400 a year that you can invest. With the power of compounding, that could add tens of thousands to your investment pot over time. Exciting, isn't it? To sum it up, achieving financial independence on a minimum wage is not about limiting yourself or just scraping by. It's about strategic planning, smart budgeting, and making your money work for you, instead of the other way around. It's about unleashing the power of compounding and tapping into income-producing assets. And you thought it was impossible, didn't you? Financial freedom might seem like a dream, especially when you're earning a minimum wage. But as we've demonstrated, with the right knowledge, some discipline, and a little patience, it's more than possible. It's a journey and you are the driver. Ready for the ride? Of course, this is a simplified model and real life might throw in a few curveballs. Expenses can fluctuate, market returns can vary, but remember, the core principles remain the same. And what are those principles again? Stay with us. We're wrapping it all up. Spend wisely, save consistently, invest strategically, and let your money grow. Harness the power of compounding, embrace income-producing assets, and always strive to create additional income streams. That's your secret recipe for achieving financial independence, no matter what your wage is. The path to financial independence is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a slow and steady journey that requires dedication and patience. But the reward, a life free from financial stress and full of possibility, isn't that worth it? So, are you ready to start your journey towards financial independence even on a minimum wage? Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, and there's no better time than now to take that step.